Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be showing you my uniform. I need a white shirt first in order to put this part on, but actually I don't think I need one. Screw it, I'm not going to use it. Just a heads up, my hair is in fact out of regulations. It's supposed to be lower. It's supposed to be lower than this part of your finger. Or like around your knuckle. Like this part. This is your knuckle, by the way. This isn't. I don't know what it's called. Don't fact check me. I don't know what it's called. Again, but also that box in the background. Yeah, that box right there. That's where my shoes came in, or that's where my shoes came from. I don't know where the shoes actually came from or was manufactured. All I know is they were made in the United States. So don't fact check me. Uh, these. Well, I don't have the polish kit for it because I had to return it. Because my polish ended up getting broke. Not calling out my NSN, SNSI or NSI, Naval Science Instructor, Senior Naval Science Instructor. They had nothing to do with it. It was just the way it was. Jesus fucking Christ. Hold up. Let me see if I can't focus this shit. Also, these are really uncomfortable when you first wear them. Here's the reason. Let me put this one down. Also, yes, I have a Bible. No, it's not important to the uniform, but this is our Bible. Kind of wish I could use block out the light, but this is our Bible. Yeah. Moving on. Make sure this isn't well, there's more stuff on this. Crap. These shoes, if you couldn't notice, or if you didn't notice, they're dress shoes. And like most things, and like most people, it's hard. Not that way, YouTube. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's hard to bend these, so you're gonna get creases all on. You're gonna get creases right here, right here, and yes, because our school hallways are so fucking disgusting, you're also gonna get stuff on the bottom of your shoes. As you can see, that's not from my house. Hold on, as it gets better. Well, worse and better. Also, these aren't the exact socks, but these are the type, not exactly the type of socks, but we'd have to wear those. We'd have to wear black socks to school in uniform. But yet the school's floor is so dirty, this happens to the shoes. Luckily though, no one sees it. Except for y'all because I showed you already. Shoes are out of the way, socks are out of the way. Socks ain't that cool, actually. Hold on. I'm gonna use my jacket for reference. Because for some reason my leg is well, yeah, it'll do. Let's say this is how long my leg is. The length of this sleeve. This is the ankle. The sock goes on, of course, normally. The sock would go up to here on your leg. So, as you can tell, it'll pull your hair. But they didn't care. No, I'm just kidding. They didn't know. Looks like it's getting ready to rain. Wait, hold on. just rained. Well, not raining, it's just drizzling. Moving on to my shoes. Not shoes, what am I? Sorry, I'm tired. My pants. These are the uniform or dress pants. And not gonna disclose anything because these are military property. Yes, these are from the military. Well, not necessarily the military, but this is military property. Property can't be damaged. I have to bring it back to school for my senior naval science instructor and my naval science instructor. Both of them are good people, but the these are 31L, and these came from the Defense Logistics Agency. Well, it's made for that, made for them. But yes, these are what ROTC, NS, or J, or OTC, and practically any civilian side military stuff like ROTC, JROTC, and stuff in that category, they get these. Not exactly these because they're different. My RTC just so happens to be the Navy. Morganton ended up being the Army. We have drill meets. That's how I know. And we have a student who transferred from Freedom High School to West Caldwell. I shouldn't have said the school name. I trust y'all not to go there. If you do, I'm sorry. It's hell. Those who go there know. But moving on to the uniform itself and how to properly put your ribbons, your insignia on, your J-bar, and your name tag. Trust me, this is really, really comfortable. And yes, this has a military term on it, but we learn it in our cadet reference manual, which I will not be showing because it ended up falling in water, and most of the blue ink fell or dripped out. So even though it looked sturdy, it probably wasn't. So I should probably do that because y'all need to see this stuff. Actually, screw it. I'm gonna put my uniform on. This is the only time I put my uniform on to show y'all what the process of putting it on is. Now I'm also gonna show you my belt buckle and stuff. Not in the ways YouTube thinks. Here, let me fix my uniform. I can't cuss anyone, by the way, since I'm in uniform, technically speaking. So, of course, y'all ain't gonna see my pants or anything. Hi. So, this is my uniform. Of course, we wouldn't be wearing red shirts. This is actually against the uniform regulations, but I don't have a white shirt anywhere in here. So, if you hate it, deal with it. These are our ribbons. This is the name tag. This is our insignia. My insignia, at least. And this is our J-bar. I'll go through it after I get my book to tell y'all what these are. Be right back. Alright, I'm back with my cadet reference manual. Sorry if you didn't see it properly. This is a cadet reference manual. All cadets get this, including our CO, who is the younger brother of the XO we previously had. Don't ask what happened to it, just know it fell into water. And our core values for the United States Navy core values are honor, courage, and commitment. That came in handy for our final, which was 80 questions. So, yeah. And at the end, I'm going to tell y'all a few secrets you probably didn't know about ROTC. Not actual secrets, but just enough stuff to know this and that. Also, we got like a version of the United States and the independent sheet for independence we gained from Britain, who, you guessed it, is an island. Sorry for the Brits, but yeah, back in the 1700s, y'all were an island. We were a continent. We wanted our space. We got our space. Now everything went to crap. Don't say that in uniform, by the way. I'm saying it because we're not in school. And my SNSI and my NSI does not know about my YouTube channel. Well, hopefully they don't. If they do, I'm sorry. This is what we would do to talk to Congress or anyone for that fact in the military. On the civilian side, congressmen slash women, congressmen or congresswomen, senator, secretary of the Navy, Mr., Madam, secretary. Sorry for the blinding light behind me. The Secretary of Defense, Mr. or Madam Secretary. For the Vice President of the United States and for the President of the United States, it's Mr. Madam Vice President or Mr. or Madam President. That's what we would have to say. But for enlisted ranks, like what I am, this isn't actually. If I went to the military, I'd be E3. If I was in ROTC for the whole entirety of my 4 years in high school, this is my second year going into my third year in ROTC, but come February 23rd, I will not be. So you get to look forward to telling that to my senior chief and commander. That's right. My naval science instructor is a E8 or senior chief Pitts. That's what we call him, senior chief. We'd never call him by his last name because we didn't want to worry about getting into trouble. And then we have commander, who you had. If you said yes, no, maybe, you know, push-ups. We call those OMIs. You said yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, which is the only word we had to say is yes sir, no sir, because both of the teachers or instructors we had were both male. So luckily, all I had to say was yes sir, no sir to both of them. And that was about 100 or so times. But going into the enlisted ranks, seaman, not spelled the way you think it is. It's SEAMAN or SEAMEN, not to be confused with male anatomy. Don't go looking that up, kids. You don't need to know about it just yet. Wait until you're 16 or older. But actually, better yet, wait until you're 18 to learn about that stuff, or Wait till you're in school where they can defy the laws of everything holy. Just wait. Uh, hospitalmen, 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 firemen, firemen, firemen. Not to be confused with a fireman who puts out fires. This fireman may or may not launch half a thousand, $500,000 rocket from a boat. Construction man, airman, petty officer, third class. Actually, the ones I listed before: seamen, hospitalmen, firemen, construction men, and airmen. Those are all normal until you get to the petty officers. Petty officer, third class, second class, and first class. Yes, it goes backwards. Don't blame me. Blame whoever made this. And even then, don't blame them. Those are all petty officers, but we call them, or how we address them is different. We call them petty officer third class, petty officer second class, and petty officer first class. This video is 16 minutes long, and it's going to be a lot longer. Chief petty officer, not what my senior chief was. We would call them chief petty officers, and the senior chief petty officer, senior chief. It would be addressed on board a boat or on base as Senior Chief Petty Officer. Master Chief Petty Officer, not to be confused with the game, Master Chief or Master Chief Petty Officer. There's a reason we call them Master Chiefs and not Senior Chiefs. One's a lot scarier than the other. And the not to be confused with Halo, by the way. If you're a Halo fan, we're not talking about that Master Chief. We're talking about the Master Chief in the Navy. Also, Coast Guard shares the same logic, same rank, same pay grade, same everything. Don't ask why they just do. We all do, except for Marine Corps, Army, and Air Force. Space Force is part of the Air Force. Don't ask why. They just are. They're connected. Air quotes. Going into officers, or the O class, we were in E class and we're in O class. Midshipman, male or female, midshipman, midshipman. You don't call him woman, you call him a man. Warrant officers, or warrant officer, warrant officer, warrant officer. Chief warrant officer is the same throughout. Ensign, or a gold bar, is, well, Sig. How I don't actually know how to pronounce it, so I'm sorry if it pisses you off. Lieutenant junior grade, which is what my CO is. Lieutenant JG is how we would address them on board. But we would just call him CO to make it easier on ourselves. And then we got a lieutenant, which is lieutenant throughout. Lieutenant commander, commander, lieutenant commander, which is what my commander is. Not to be confused. Wait, no, he was one above that. Commander, commander, commander. That is what he was. Though I will get to that here in a second. Captain, captain, captain. Captains are above commanders, not the other way around. Then we got rear admiral and vice admiral and admiral, all of which are considered admirals. You don't call them rear admiral, vice admiral, or admiral. You call them admiral. Actually, it doesn't make sense just saying that. Sorry to waste your time. Vice admiral and rear admiral and upper admiral, well, there's an upper and a lower. Rear and vice admirals are called admirals either way. And then we got the orders of the century, or century. The first order, or the first one, is take charge of this post and all government property in view. Note there's 11, but our senior chief made 13. well, 12, 13, a reality. Don't ask me what they are because I honestly forgot them. Just note the longest one is the sixth one, which I will recite now. We say, receive, obey, and pass on to the sentry who relieves me of all orders from the commanding officer, command duty officer, officer of the deck, and officers and petty officers of the watch only. That is the longest one. Trust me, it's a mouthful and you will forget it. Don't act like you would know it. Unless you're like my friend Monday. I don't know his first. Oh, I know his first name, but I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say his name because I haven't said my full name yet. No, my luck, I'll have to fucking defend myself. Sorry for custom uniform. U.S. Navy signal flags, or these, or phonetic alphabet. We got Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Juliet, Kilo, Lima, Mike, November, Oscar, Papa, Quebec, Romeo, Sierra, Tango, Uniform, Victor, Whiskey, X-Ray, Yankee, Zulu. Not to be confused with the god or the country. Zulu being a god. No, not. I think Zulu. I don't know, but of course I only believe in one god. Don't get mad at me. And November is the same way you'd spell November, like the month, November. And India and Quebec, they're spelled how you think they'd be spelled. Quebec. And I forgot the other one. And Sierra, by the way, is not to be confused with the desert. Trust me, there's a difference. You'd want to be in this Sierra and not the Sahara. I don't confuse myself. Hold up. Also, Hotel, India, and Juliet, and Charlie. Those are all the phonetic alphabet. If you want to go back and reincite them, know the phonetic alphabet, you can. Though it takes a while to remember. So. Oh yeah, we also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. 0 being the most confusing one, 1 being the more odd one. With, never mind. Moving on. We got a 24-hour clock. 1 a.m. is 0100. 2 a.m. 0200, so on and so forth until the afternoon, which is 1300, 1400, 1500, so on and so forth, 2400, which then which goes back to 0000. I don't know how to pronounce that one. I just call it the quad zeros. I don't actually call it that. Don't say that in RTC. You will get in trouble. And don't bring me into it because I won't be in RTC any longer. Now we got the Navy leadership. The U.S. Armed Forces ranked and structure. E1, no insignia. It may show that for the Navy and Coast Guard. Wait, my bad. No insignia for Navy, but Coast Guard has one dash like this. That's the Coast Guard. Moving on to E2, which is private, seaman recruit, private, and airman basic. Also, just a heads up. Just because I say something that isn't in this book does not mean it is not in the ROTC program. Just like my structure rank. I am a cadet seaman apprentice. I am supposed to be E2, but E2 is private. Or seaman recruit, which is the same as an E1. Not to be confused with E2 or E3 because they have different names. And then in ROTC they do. E1, cadet seaman recruit. E2, cadet seaman apprentice, so on and so forth. We only have a few. So, I'll continue on. E3, private first class for the Army, Seaman, SEAMAN, to all you hornballs out there. Don't look that up. YouTube, don't demonetize me. I'm being reasonable here. Most of the people on this platform are not sanctuated. Do know what all that means, and I'm trying to be civil while also telling the whole platform what these are, since most of the videos I've watched of the uniform shows nothing of this book. I don't think they had one, but we're going off of they didn't have one, or they're just too lazy to show it. I can see why they didn't show it though. It's taken a while. E4 is corporal or specialist in the Army, petty officer 3rd class. Also, in E3 in the Marine Corps is Lance Corporal and Airman 1st class for the Air Force. Also, don't ask me for Space Force. It's not in this book, nor is it National Guard. So don't ask for it. Actually, our National Guard is the same as Army. So they literally told us that face to face, and E6 told me that. So don't get mad at me, Army. Get mad at that E6, which I forgot the name of. So don't ask me. Petty Officer 3rd class, Corporal, and Senior Airman. Again, do not ask me for stuff. If you want to look at this, you can either join the ROTC program. Not telling you you have to, but I'm saying you could if you wanted to. Or just look it up online. You don't have to use my video for reference. E5, Sergeant in the Army. Petty Officer 2nd class, Sergeant in the Marine Corps, and Staff Sergeant in the Air Force. Not to be confused with Staff Sergeant in the Army or Marine Corps. We'll get to that here actually right now. E6, which is what my dad was and what the Staff Sergeant I met was. Army is a Staff Sergeant, E6. Petty Officer 1st class, E6. Staff Sergeant, E6 for the Marine Corps. And Technical Sergeant, TS, GT, and Air Force. Sorry if I said this stuff wrong again. It's been a minute since I've recited all this. E7, Sergeant 1st class, Chief Petty Officer, Gunnery Sergeant, Master Sergeant, or First Sergeant. E8, Master Sergeant, First Sergeant, Senior Chief Petty Officer, Master Sergeant, or First Sergeant. Senior Master Sergeant, or First Sergeant. SERGEANT. Don't ask me how to spell that or say that because I don't know. E9, Sergeant Major. I think that's supposed to say Sergeant Major, and Command Sergeant. Commanding Sergeant Major. I don't know how to spell or say what that word is. Do not ask me. Master Chief Petty Officer or Fleet Command Master Chief Petty Officer. CMCPO. Master Gunnery Sergeant and Sergeant Major. Trust me, it gets a lot more confusing. Also, what I'm saying is, the first one you hear me say out of all of them is Army. Second one is Navy, Coast Guard, Marine Corps 3rd, and Air Force 4th. Air Force 4th. I have literally everything wrong. Also, Air Force has like 3 of these on E9, so look it up if you want it. Don't ask me, even though I'm in ROTC and I should know most of this. Go on Google. They have most of what you need. Chief Master Sergeant First Sergeant, Commanding Chief, Master Sergeant. All of those which have different payroll, same payroll, different duties to a degree. And Senior Enlisted Advisor, or not NCOs, which is E6 and up, I believe. Sergeant Major of the Army, Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, or MCPON, and Coast Guard, MCPOCG. Master Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, SGT MAJMC, not to be confused with a motorcycle club, YouTube. And for the Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, or CMSAF. That's literally what it says right here. Right here, it says it. It may be backwards for you, but it's not for me. I know what it says. Moving on to warrant officers. Yes, there's warrant officers, like a whole list of them. Don't get mad at me. Warrant Officer 1, Warrant Officer 1, Warrant Officer 1. Air Force has no warrant officers. So I'm going to ignore them. Warrant Officer, Chief Warrant Officer 2, Chief Warrant Officer 2, and Chief Warrant Officer 2. Notice they're chiefs now. Not warrant officers, Chief Warrant Officers. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Chief Warrant Officer 3, and Chief Warrant Officer 3, Chief Warrant Officer 4, so on and so forth, Chief Warrant Officer 5, so forth. Also, while we're on the topic of Chief Warrant Officers, Air Force has none. But they have officers. Not warrant officers or Chief Warrant Officers, just plain old officers. Don't ask me why, it's like that. You can see right here, fourth one, Air Force. It says Air Force above it. That one right there. Yeah. That's their warrant officers. Don't ask me for them. Because they have none. It's only the Navy, Coast Guard, Army, and Marine Corps. Notice I didn't call it an Air Force. They don't have one. Sorry, Air Force, for being mad at y'all. It's just a little annoying knowing y'all have none. Y'all may have some now, but that's beside the point. It's not in this book. This book was made in 2018, I believe. Don't get mad at me. It's in the book. The book says what it says. I can't change it. O1s, which are officers. Second lieutenant. Ensign. Second lieutenant. Second lieutenant. Note, all of what I'm about to say is the same except for the actual stars. Star generals. I mean, yes. The Navy and Coast Guard have stars, but that's beside the point. O2, which is first lieutenant, lieutenant junior grade, which is what my CO is, again, first lieutenant, first lieutenant. O3 is captain, lieutenant, captain, captain. Then O4, not the highest you can go, but damn near close to it, major, lieutenant commander, major, 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 major. That's a movie reference, but not enough to get me copyrighted, I believe. Moving on to 05 and up, because that's where we are now. 05, also Marine Corps does not have a 5-star general. You can look it up. There has not been once one recorded. So you cannot find it online because guess what? Right here, beside Coast Guard and Navy, it says NA. Not announced, because there was none. 05, Lieutenant Colonel, Commander, Lieutenant Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel. You're going to notice a lot of that stuff because it's going to be the same. Ready for the rest of them? I bet you are. Or not. Your choice. 07, Flag or General Officers. 07, 1-star General, also, I forgot 06. 06, Colonel, Captain, Colonel, Colonel. Also, we have a lieutenant colonel as our, you guessed it, Area 6 manager. That means he's higher than our senior naval science instructor, Commander Doberly. We never called him Doberly, but yeah. Moving on to the 07 and up, which is a 1-star general. Brigadier General, or BG. Rear Admiral, lower half. Same, Army is the same as Marine Corps, Marines, and Air Force. So please don't ask for them. I don't know how to spell or say the first or 1-star generals, but the higher up we go, the easier they get. 08, or 2-star general, Major General. Rear Admiral, upper half. Major General, Major General. That gets rid of this page. Now it's time for the higher ups, like a 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. 09, 3-star General, Lieutenant General. LTG, Vice Admiral. Vadim. That's not what we call them. That's just how it's spelled right here. Vadim. Moving on, we got Lieutenant General 010, which is the highest at this point because we're not at war. 010, which is a 4-star general. 4, not 3, 4. General of the General Army Chief of Staff. Also, the flagged general officers and maybe the major. Well, you'll see all types of officers in the Pentagon, which is, if you notice, shaped like the wartime reserved only, which I'll get to here in a second. 4-star general for the Navy or Coast Guard is Admiral, Chief of Naval Operations and Commandant of the Coast Guard. There's only one of those, by the way. Well, maybe 2, but I don't know. I have to do research. Otherwise, I'm not going to know. General, Commandant of the Marine Corps, and Air Force Chief of Staff. Moving on to the wartime reserves, which you will not see a 5-star general walking around. You'll most likely see him, her, all of them actually, standing around one person. The President, the Secretary of Defense, or Secretary of Defense, or Director of Defense, whatever it would be, whatever he would be considered, or she. And Homeland Security. Don't ask me where to find them because we don't learn this stuff at all. Moving on to wartime reserves only. 5-star general for the Army. General of the Army. Reserved for wartime only. Wartime. Fleet Admiral. 5-star general. Reserved for wartime. Fleet Admiral, by the way, controls all. Not just one vessel, not 2, all vessels. Including the one and only. No, I wouldn't be shipped on. I wouldn't be boarded onto a boat and told to shoot cannons. We have to learn first. And we don't learn that stuff except for marksmanship. And like a lot more, but you'll learn that once you do more research. There's not one for the Marine Corps, but there is one for the Army or Air Force, and that's General of the Air Force. reserved for wartime only, or wartime only. And the only reason the Air Force has a general is because the general before broke off from the Army. The four-star general then was promoted to general of the Army, and Air Force got their first general of the Air Force. Moving on, we got my rank and stuff. Cadet officers. Well, wait. I'm gonna do enlisted for cadet enlisted ranks, not actually enlisted in the military, but enlisted in the ROTC program. And then we can get on to these. Cadet Seaman Apprentice. That is what I am. This is what it looks like. Cadet Seaman has one more right here. The next one beside that is Cadet Petty Officer, 3rd class, 2nd class, and 1st class. Notice how screwed this is? I'm going to show you again. Petty Officers, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd class. 1st class or 3rd class has 1 bar. 2nd class, 2 bars. 1st class, 3 bars. It makes no sense. Can I control it? No. Which slightly irritates me, but that's beside the point. Then you get Cadet Chief Petty Officer, Cadet Senior Chief Petty Officer, and Cadet Master Chief Petty Officer. I have yet to have one of what I just said. We have yet to see one of these 3 in my platoon. Hopefully, though, I get to see it with my cadet commander, which is, she actually lives on my road, but I'm not going to dox her because I'm not a bitch. Also, again, not fully in my uniform. My pants are different, and socks aren't in regulation. I'm only wearing the uniform dress. Then I'm going to show you my cover, my belt, my buckle, and my jacket, which does nothing to prevent you from getting cold. You gotta suck it up. That's the whole part of being an RTC, besides getting better knowledge. Moving on, we have the cadet officers, which is cadet insignia. I don't know. ENSIGN. Then we have cadet lieutenant junior grade, which is this. And yes, I've had one here. I even had the one and I seen one with the 4 lines, 4 bars, 4 bar. Why does it look like that's getting brighter? I just flashed myself. Not actually flash myself, YouTube. I'm talking about that light right there. That looks like God's descending from the light, or Jesus. And then we got cadet lieutenant, which is the 3 bar, which you've probably seen. A cadet lieutenant commander, which is a 4 bar I seen during a little gathering we have called meetings, or not necessarily meetings. We have them every so often to show them what we've learned and stuff. So, yeah. And then we got cadet commander, which is a 5 bar, and I have yet to see one. I wonder why. Also, YouTube, before we continue, I'd like to note that all of what I'm saying is in this book. The music you hear me singing, it's less than 30 seconds. It's less than 5 seconds, so it can't be copyrighted, technically. Moving on to ribbons and awards. Also, please note, we do have medals that would go here, here. We also have stuff that would go on the shoulders, not these shoulders. This isn't actually a uniform made for that stuff, by the way. We actually have different uniforms for those types of needs. Moving on to other stuff. The ribbons. I'll tell you which ones I have and which ones I don't have. Starting off with number 1. Meritorious achievement, which I could tell you I don't have. Yep, I do not have it. That is the first of 26, by the way, not including the stars or lamps you can get for them, and I'll show you these afterward. Also, point of the day. Well, not really point of the day, but little life lesson. If you have a pencil, you have a uniform, your pen key will substitute just a little bit, but a pencil is the exact width you need over the pocket to pass. The only problem with that is it also needs to be centered on the pocket. So if it's not centered, but it's the right height, you will still get points deducted. Just because it's not centered. It's on there perfectly level with everything else, but not centered. Trust me, it'll get you, along with the gig line, which I will show you eventually. In fact, I'm not going to show you, because I'm not wearing my uniform. But the gig line is this, the belt buckle, and the pants lining up. Moving on. Distinguished unit, which is this one. This is going to be top. This doesn't get any stars, no ribbons, no nothing. This is the only one you get. That's the only one you earn. This is the only thing you get from the AMI, which stands for Annual Military Inspection. AMI, annual, standing for the A, military, M, inspection. I, AMI. I about said MMA. Distinguished Cadet, which I still have yet to get, because guess what? It is one of the hardest ribbons to get. I kid you not. Only 5 cadets ever get it during AMI. I do not have it. Distinguished Cadet, by the way, looks like this. I do not have that ribbon, as you can see. Nowhere on this. But I do have some stars. No lantern or lamps, so I can't show you those, but I can show you them on paper. Honor Cadet, which is what happens when you go into NS1 Honors. I'm not going into Honors. Trust me. It's worth it not going into Honors. But it's one of the second hardest to get. Cadet Achievement. I do not have. Nor do I have Honor Cadet or Distinguished Cadet. I wonder why. Not getting mad at Lieutenant Colonel Clark. He's a pretty chill dude. He's also pretty tall. He says he's short, but he's not. He's actually taller than most cadets in my unit. But continuing on with this. Unit Achievement, Cadet Achievement, Unit Achievement. If you notice, I do not have. Because guess what you need to get the Unit Achievement? Jesus Christ, that's right. To get the Cadet Achievement, or the Unit Achievement, and I kid you not, you have to go to what we like to call the boot camp of ROTC. Summer Leadership Academy, which gives you a star. And to make it worse, you get ribbons, a medal, and you can be promoted to officers. The only problem with that is if you want to get higher up on the board, you have to continuously go every summer. I'm not going to go to a thing every summer. Now, aptitude, which I have. It is actually this one. I also have another one. We're getting to that one, but that's beside the point. Also, there's four classes for NS or naval science. NS1, which I passed, NS2, which I'm currently in and passed, NS3, which I'm going into next semester, and NS4, which will be my junior year because I know for a damn fact I'm being held back again because I failed again because the school doesn't know how to fucking pass me. Also, one of these I could not get because I don't have a physical. I could have done it easily with what I know now. NS4, Outstanding Cadet. I don't have because I'm not an NS4. NS3, Outstanding Cadet. I do not have because I'm not in NS3 yet. NS2, Outstanding Cadet. I don't have. It looks like this one, but with the line in the middle. NS1, Outstanding Cadet. This one, I have. You can see it right here. I have the NS1, Outstanding Cadet ribbon. Exemplary conduct. I do not have. Exemplary personal appearance. I do not have. Physical fitness. I do not have. Not because I'm lazy, but because I just can't get it. I need a physical to run track, and I can't make it to pass 20 push-ups or seconds. Well, I can in planks, but that's beside the point. Participation. You should get after your first few flag details, which is floating flag, bringing it in, getting it done and over with. You should get that after 3 or 4 flag details. And it is this one. The one with 2 stars. Now, I should take it off. This is what it looks like. I know the stars are offline. Trust me, it pisses me off too. Unit service. I have. In fact, it's this one with 1 star, which I should have more than 1 star now. But we're going to continue. Community service. We could not get. It's really like one of the achievements that have 0.00 possibility of getting. Because, like last year, I shouldn't have done that. Like last year, we did not have a leader for unit service or community service, but we do have academic, drill, color guard, marksmanship, orienteering, inter service, recruiting, leadership training, and sea cruise. None of which I have. Oh wait, no, I do have I do have that one. I said I didn't have. Exemplary personal appearance. Moving on to the stars and lance. There's a lot, by the way. There's 1 star bronze, 2 star bronze, 3 star bronze, 4 star bronze, 5 star bronze, 1 star silver, 2 star silver, 3 star silver, 4 star silver, and 5 star silver. That's before, well, 4. 4 is the max you can get, but there is a 5 star for all of these, except for the anchor. I'll get to that in a minute. 1 star gold, 2 star gold, 3. Wait, my bad. 1 star, 1 star gold, 2 star gold, 3 star gold, 4 star gold, 5 star gold. For is it max for ROTC like I'm in. Bronze lamp, silver lamp bronze, which is what it is, a bronze lamp, do not melt them down. You will get in trouble. I didn't melt them down, but I know for a fact you'll get in trouble. And yes, you have to pay for anything that's missing, except for the insignia and ribbons. These you keep, including your name tag. And coming to surprise absolutely no one, I have to return the uniform, the shoes, the pants, jacket, cover, and belt. That's not what we call it, but yes, we have covers, which is only worn outside where it can rain, snow, be windy, or just have a straight up hurricane going on. No, we wouldn't be in school, but I'm just saying we would have it ready. There's also lamp silver and gold lamp, gold lamp, silver lamp, and bronze lamp, which is what I said before, but in a more standard way. And then we have anchor gold. It is the only anchor you can get, by the way. Well, besides the one on our uniform cover, but that's called a foiled anchor. This is a anchor. If y'all can see it, this is an anchor. That's one of the hardest things to get. You want to know why? I bet you do, or don't. You have to be a leader, not just a normal leader. You have to be leading community service, academic team, which I do not do, drill team, color guard, marksman, orienteering, inter-service competition, recruiting. Well, recruiting is its own thing, but that's beside the point. Leadership training, and not just kidding. Leadership training at sea crews, they don't get the anchor, but the ones I listed before, inter-service competition, which is going against the military, I'm not doing because I can't. My legs are starting to kill me just by standing here, and I had to stand longer. Academic team to inter-service competition can get a anchor, gold anchor at that. Then there's the uniforms, uniform. This is dress blues, by the way. This uniform right here is the dress blues. That's what we would get to wear during the naval ball, which yes, I can go to.